Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Tips by Antoaneta. Today we're going to do a recap video for 2021 and I've got a lot to talk about, so please bear with me because this video will be a bit longer than usual. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for their support.
Thank you very much!
All of you who follow my channel, read my blog posts, send me emails and ask questions. For me, 2021 was a very successful year and a very difficult one. Successful because I was fortunate enough to be invited to a lot of events. I had the opportunity to share my knowledge and experience with so many people. Back in March 2021, I had an interview with The Sun. For those of you who don't live in the UK, The Sun is a pretty major newspaper. I had the opportunity to share some of my story and business journey and give advice to the people looking to make a positive change. And this interview was just the beginning. Apparently, many people liked what I had to say, and I got invited to Rich House Poor House, a fun little show at Channel 5 where two families swap their homes for a week and try living in each other's shoes. I've also been invited to give multiple presentations, notably one in the Oxford Business College. Thank you very much, Nicole, for inviting me. It is a privilege to be here and to be able to speak to such a lovely young audience. And I really hope that I can help one or two people today. They can make a big change in their life. So this is why I agreed to speak today, just to be able to motivate and to share my experience with them.
Well, we really appreciate it, and I'm sure it'll be appreciated by more than one or two people, that's for sure.
Meanwhile, some Bulgarians back at home also managed to stumble upon my online activities. And during my next visit, I got a bunch of invitations from Bulgarian news outlets. I was also invited by the Bulgarian Telegraph newspapers and 24 Hours. I even appeared on Nova TV, one of our TV channels in Bulgaria. And the latest ones, I was invited by the GB News in UK and the Bulgarian Voice in Bulgaria. And all of this gave me a really lovely visibility boost. Many new people found my channels and I'm getting more and more emails every day. And this really makes me happy. I've always loved helping people. This plays a big part in how I run my company and hire people. It was also the main motivation for starting the Lifestyle Tips website and this channel. There are so many people who want to make positive changes in their lives but just don't know where to begin. Some have an idea of where they want to be, others just want to live better or succeed. The world is filled with people like this. Sadly, many of them just get lost along the way or make a mistake and give up. And that is not something that should be happening. Yes, really. Not in our day and age. Not when you can just go online and learn whatever you feel like, really. But still, there's a ton of information to process. And it can really be overwhelming for most people, especially if they are not in a good place mentally. But that is why I'm here, to help. I'm very, very happy that I was able to touch the lives of so many people this year. On top of all this, I also managed to launch my very, very first book, Not Just a Cleaner. Write and publish a couple of smaller ebooks as well. Release a ton of courses for people who want to learn about the stock market and improve their life. Improve my wellness business. Over 70, very close to 100 people in my team already. Another big thing that makes me really happy this year is that finally got my Tesla. Yes, back in June, I bought my Tesla.
We've got Tesla, Drenje. We've got Tesla, look.
Everyone, I've got my Tesla. I'm happy, very happy. As you all know, I'm a big on eco-friendliness and I'm a huge Tesla fan. I'll probably stick with the EVs forever. I also got some questions about why I'm doing this. Why I go through all of this trouble to talk to journalists, give interviews and show up on the TV. And don't get me wrong, it is absolutely draining and takes quite a bit of effort and a lot of time. Why would you bother with all of this when you've already got your business up and running? You can just focus on that and enjoy your success, right? What is there for you to gain from this? Well, this is exactly what I've got to gain. I want to help people. And of course, not all of the comments are positive. The more famous you become, the more haters you attract. And when it comes to the internet, this is magnified. Especially when I was in the rich house, poor house, and there were so many comments about me and ionized water. So, did I care? Not, I didn't. There are always naysayers, demoralized people who just hate everything for the sake of hating it. Trolls who do anything just to get a reaction and so on. But that doesn't bother me at all, really. Everyone goes through this, and besides, this isn't exactly new to me. Being a business leader also gives you this sort of exposure, just in a different environment. You'll be hard pressed to find any business leader out there who is loved by everyone in the world. That is just not a thing that happens, really. Now, I'm trying to create mentoring programs that allow people to study independently while also having access to me if they have questions. I have some people in my company who have been with me from the very start of the company. I'm talking about the cleaning company. They've worked with me for over 20 years and they are still just as passionate and motivated as when they first started. And I'm very proud of this. We wouldn't have made it this far if we weren't doing something right, yes? And don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying that getting to this point was really easy. It absolutely wasn't. Learning how to work with different people is a big challenge. Everyone comes from a different background, has their own mindset, goals, everything. But if you really want to make it work, you can. It just takes a bit of effort and a getting used to it. The same applies to building an online presence. I would say that it takes a bit of courage, especially if you're like me and you've never been all that active on social media and forums before. Getting to this point and having multiple websites, online communities and YouTube channels was a journey, but it was and still is very exciting and fulfilling. It makes me really happy because it allows me to do what I enjoy the most, helping people. I really want to give something back to people, my friends back in Bulgaria and all of you watching these videos. I want to help you find and achieve your goals. I want to help make your lives better. I've mentioned this before, and those of you who follow my blogs know it already, but I never had a teacher or success mentor. I had to learn everything on my own. I had to pull myself up by my bootstraps, and for all the flake this phrase gets, I find it very accurate. If you have the right mindset, you absolutely can do it. Everything you can do. Sure, the economic situation may be a bit more challenging today, but starting a business and investing is easier than ever. Trust me. And best of all, the information on how it works is available thanks to the internet. When I was just starting out, all I had was what my parents taught me. They were not business people, but they were sincere and hard-working folks. They taught me the value of honesty, loyalty, and hard work. And here is another thing that the negative people out there get wrong. When someone talks about hard work, they don't necessarily mean working 9 to 5 for someone else. In my case, hard work means working on my business, investments, and brands. But since I didn't have a teacher or a role model for the business part, I made many mistakes. I had a lot of setbacks, and it took me a very long time before I was confident enough to start investing. On being prepared, school doesn't prepare you for life. Many people like to go on and on about back in my day, but I'm going to be completely honest with you and tell you that school wasn't that much better back then. And that is because all educational systems fall into the same trap. They don't teach you about life. They don't teach you about money. They don't teach you about success. Oh, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of really valuable things that you can learn in school. But the entire thing is set up in a way that doesn't prepare you for your life after you get the degree. Instead, it teaches you how to be a good student, how to prepare for tests, and how to get good scores. And that is well and good, but it really doesn't amount to much, especially if you want to really get somewhere in life. Young adults come out of college with almost no real life experience. We live in a time where everyone who wants to study can do so. And since most of the desirable jobs require a degree, we all try to get one. We spend 15-20 years on our studies, get our degree, and find some 9 to 5 jobs. And that is when we enter life. And we are unprepared for it because school never taught us about any of the things that we need to do, especially if we want to move forward, build careers, or start businesses. There is a ton of things what we are missing, and what we realize that we have to start learning all over again. And of course, some do. I'm one of these people, and my daughter is another. We put in the effort, the hard work, because we really want to learn. But most people just don't bother. They say, oh, that is just not a thing for me, or it's only for the really special people, and stuff like that. And if they don't feel like they can do it, if they are happy with what they've got, that is fine by me. I mean, I would prefer it for everyone would want to improve it for if everyone wanted to become the best version of themselves. But I know that this isn't realistic. There will always be people who are content with what they've got, and that is fine. There's so many people who are not happy with their life. They don't want to be stuck in a low-paying position with little to no prospects to move forward. They want to be more, to see more, to achieve more, yes? All of this requires a ton of studying. Not the kind of learning you do in school, but the real kind. The kind where you're figuring out how businesses work, how life works, how to talk to your boss, how to deliver results and advance your career, how to lead people, and so on. For most people, myself included, this takes a lot of time and effort. And we make mistakes that cost time, money, and energy. Just imagine what I would have been like if you got to learn all of this stuff at school. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, yeah!
And don't get me wrong here. I have nothing against studying, and I'm not saying you should drop out of school or anything like that. To live is to learn, and all that. We all learn for as long as we live. But this doesn't mean that everyone has to struggle to learn the important stuff. During these past 21 years, my life in the UK has been non-stop learning all the time. When I first came here, I didn't know English. I didn't know anything about business, computers, leadership, marketing, or internet, or investing. What I did have was the solid foundation that my parents gave me. They taught me to be honest, work hard, and keep fighting for what I believe in. They taught me to never give up, no matter how hard the struggle is. But just because I struggle doesn't mean everyone else has to. This is why I want to help people and share what I know. I want to share my skills so that you don't have to go through these struggles. You don't have to make the same mistakes, and you don't have to waste time, efforts, and resources on learning the basics. So you can have that head start school should have given you. I want to help you learn what you don't learn in school. Let's talk about investing. Initially, I didn't start the whole lifestyle tips project with just investing in mind. I wanted to give you guys a different content, success content with business and career advice and the occasional stock review every now and then. But since the comments wanted more and more investing, we switched to that, especially my Bulgarian community and my Bulgarian YouTube channel. Our little investing group on Facebook has been doing really well, and I'm really happy with the results. We've got a lot of successful people in there, both in the investing and the business world. I'm really proud of them. We have also got some who went a bit heavier into speculative stocks, and they're a bit worried right now because right now the market isn't all that great for small cap. But as long as they stick through it and hold on their positions, it will turn out well in the end. The members who build their portfolio following my model know that they've got nothing to worry about because we're looking at the long term. We pick good, solid companies and we plan for the future. And really, this is something that all long-term investors go through. At first, I had my worries as well, but with me, you learn how it works and the stress just disappears. And I've said this before here on this channel, but long-term investing isn't really for the faint of heart. If you don't have the mindset, if you're prone to stress and anxiety, you may be better off starting with index funds. I like long-term investing because it's safe, largely passive, and probably most important of all, it's fun. Yes, that's right. Personally, I enjoy looking at the market, researching and analyzing companies. It's like a hobby for me. This is why I always share my approach and overall strategies. I focus on the big picture instead of telling you, yep, go buy this. I prefer teaching people how to fish instead of just giving them some fish right now. I want to show you how to succeed on your own and achieve your own goals.
Love that.
But again, this is not for everyone. The market is always moving. Prices always change. Sometimes, like during these past few months, there is a ton of volatility. Usually the prices go up much faster than they go down, and this can really hurt a beginner. Never sell at a loss. The longer you wait, the better. My favorite stock holding period is forever. This is what Warren Buffett is saying. When you buy some small speculative business, you need to give it time to grow. Patience is the key. Patience and investing. Patience is the key for a long-term investing. You only sell if you believe that the company is not doing well and you need the money, or to put it in some much more lucrative position. And when I say not doing well, I don't mean you should immediately pull out of position just because a company had a bad quarter. We're looking for long-term signs, drastic changes in management, horrible decision, massive loss of customers, stuff like that. I actually made a pretty lengthy video on this subject some months back, and if you miss it, I'll leave a link for you down in the description. It may sound like basic stuff, but you'll be surprised just how many people mess this up. Now, set your goals, do your research, set up your priorities, find a good time to buy, and hold. Most of the time, hold forever. For example, my goal is to have my portfolio reach £1 million in 5 years. This is obviously up to the individual. I'm a business leader and I've got a lot more resources to use and invest in. But the stock market isn't just for the people who already have capital. You can and should start investing as soon as you are able to. There are a lot of really successful investors out there who start while they are still in college and manage to secure their financial independence before they even get their degree. And even if you do have a sizable disposable income, I always advise people to start small. Just set aside a small budget for investing, follow the steps above and sit on your position for some time. You always want to get a feel for how the market works before investing a substantial amount of money. This is very, very important. Even after gaining some experience, you should not invest large sums in bulk. I use a dollar cost average strategy. Every month, I add a bit to my positions when the market is at its best. I feel like this is the safest and most reliable strategy for me. I never miss out on price drops and I always have some cash on hand if I see a really lucrative opportunity and it's largely passive. I don't spend more than 1 hour looking at the stock market every day and I'm free to focus on myself, my businesses and my loved ones. And this is also why I advise beginners to try this strategy first, because it's safe, stress-free, and doesn't force them to spend too much time looking at the market. Stocks versus real estate. I see many people looking at the real estate market, especially with the current economy. I understand why it seems so lucrative, but it's not that great for beginners, especially if you are working with a limited budget. The stock market allows you to get in and start building your wealth even if you work on minimum wage. You can comfortably get a feel for the situation, make some investments and see them grow as you are learning. And if you start early enough, you'll have a decent portfolio built up by the time you reach late 30s or 40s. Then if you want to get into real estate, you can use some of those stock market earnings and not worry about loans or tight budget limitations. And yes, I'm also a property investor. I just don't make content about it because, like I said, I don't see it as a good option for beginners. To my Bulgarian viewers, a lot of my Bulgarian viewers ask me how to get started with real estate investments back at home, and here's what I'm going to tell them. When I buy properties, I do it in the UK. Here, rent is much higher than in Bulgaria. So even if my property doesn't sell, I can always rent it out, and I will be looking at decent returns quickly. In Bulgaria, it will take you a lot longer to make a profit from renting, especially if you had to renovate first, which you almost always want to do because it increases the resale value. When you're working with real estate, you need to do a lot of research, even more than you do for the stock market. You need to know the area, the laws, the people, the market. In Bulgaria, for example, you don't have specific laws about renting. A lot of the things just rent definite. A lot of the things just aren't defined. So if you got the bills in your name, you could easily rack up debt without even realizing it. And yes, I'm speaking from experience here because I own a couple of properties in Bulgaria. I've also had few instances of people just packing their bags and leaving before paying their rent. Sadly, there is just no security for landlords in our home country.
Oh, really?
The UK has much stricter laws. I also want to share something else here. My mother passed away this year in October. It was shortly after I was invited to appear on Bulgarian TV, for which I'm very thankful to Pavlina, who found me on Facebook. This whole TV thing made my mom very, very happy. She was very proud to see her daughter on the TV. And she was also a bit saddened that I wasn't planning on coming back to live in Bulgaria. But I'm very glad that I was able to make her happy. I would never gotten this far if it wasn't for how she raised me. Thank you, Mom, for everything that you've done for me. I know that you're still looking after me, and I will keep doing my best and try to make you proud always. She was very, very happy for me and my achievements, and she was also very proud that I focused on working with Bulgarians. This gives me strength to continue moving forward. Everyone gets a moment like this in their life, a moment when you just sit down and think. And yes, I found my purpose long ago. I want to build a better future, help people, and take care of my loved ones. But sometimes life gives you lemons and you just don't feel like making the lemonade. And for me, it really made me think about the long term, about the future, about how precious and short our time is. I even started questioning if there's even a point to all this wealth building stuff. I mean, one day we all be gone, right? What would our money change? Well, there's a point. Because I'm not just doing this for myself. I'm not doing it just because it feels good or because I like money. I want to take these opportunities to point out some basic stuff about life. In the long term, family and loved ones are what matters most. The people who loves you and supports you are more important than material things. Don't let the naysayers bring you down. I could say a lot about this point, but I'll keep it short. Maybe someday I'll make a dedicated video about it. There will always be negative people, people who don't believe in you, people who think you are going to fail. Don't listen to them. Focus, really focus on your goals. Keep your loved ones close and work on your future. Don't be afraid to admit your mistakes. We all make mistakes. I've made thousands of mistakes. There is no shame in admitting that you were wrong. It will help you feel better and it will improve your relationships. Reflection matters really a lot. Spend at least a couple of minutes on self-reflection every evening. Think about your experiences and ask questions. This will help improve your life in the long run. Try to approach the situation with a positive attitude. Look for positive things, even in negative situations. There is always something to learn. Try to analyze your year. Did you get closer to achieving your goals? What changed for you? What can you do to make the next year even better? Health, personal development, career, family, finances. Are you happy with your situation? What do you want to improve? If you want to change something, now is the time to sit down and write some goals for 2022. It doesn't even take that long. Write down some ideas about daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, 3 months goals, 6 months goals, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, even 10 years. It's vital. It's vital to see, to have a vision. It's vital to write down your goals. Where do you want to be in 5 years? What about in 10 years? What do you want to achieve in a long run? But always set aside time for yourself. This is really important. Your health always comes first. If you want to succeed, you need to be in a good health. If you are looking to things to improve in your life, this is where you start. Get your diet in check and drop the junk food. Get some movement in your routine. Walks, yoga, stretching, light exercise, or just start going to gym, or very light exercises at home. Start drinking plenty of water. Good water. You know what water I drink. If you have any questions, you can always get in touch. I drink ionized canned water. Even Tony Robbins drink canned water. And even Bill Gates drink canned water. And I can give you more details about that. Spend less time online, less time on social media, forums and distractions. Spend more time on reflections. Consider meditation too. I'm truly happy because I can do the things I want to do. I get to do what I love now. I get to help people and share my experience. And it's really been a long journey. When I was just starting out, I never imagined I would ever get this far. I was born and raised in a small village in Bulgarian countryside. I came to London all those years ago, 21 years ago, looking for work. I basically had to start from nothing and build my life here from the ground up. I learned English, then I started my first business, then I got into the real estate, and now to the stock investments 5 years ago, and finally I decided to go green. When I sit back and think about it, it really feels like a lot for just one lifetime. But I'm very delighted with all that I've managed to achieve. And I never imagined that I would get recognition for my achievements. But I'm going to be honest here and tell you that this also feels amazing. I've never thought that I would have articles written about me or that I would give interviews and go on the TV. Recently, I was approached by GB News. They asked me what I think of the economic situation post-Brexit. They asked me about my business and what these changes mean to me. And my daughter, who is also a business leader, is also getting interviewed. Of course, I'm not letting this get to my head. I still have my own goals, and I'm working on them just as hard as I always have. But getting this recognition makes me appreciate my own achievements even more. The idea that my story can be heard by so many people that they could learn from what I've done and use to make their lives better. This is incredible, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to share. What are my long-term life goals? I'm waiting for my grandchildren. I want to be there for them. I want to teach them everything I know, everything that schools won't teach them. I want to give them this head start in life so they can just work on themselves. And my second big goal is to help people. I want to leave something behind. I want to help people. I want to touch the lives of the people who want to make a positive change in the world. Reading all of your messages and emails make me so happy. When people send me emails, it's usually because of one of three things. They started a business, they got into investing, or they want to improve their health. And they've sharing their experiences and thanking me for the tips, ideas, and inspiration. They improved their health, and they're sharing their experiences and thanking me for the tips, ideas, and inspiration. And this right here is what inspires me to create more and more content. Knowing that I've been able to help people improve their lives is just so incredibly fulfilling. I want to write more books, publish more videos, and write more blogs and articles, create more courses. So, here is my final tip for today.
Good.
Find what really makes you happy and focus on it. And of course, don't forget to spend time with your family and work on yourself. Don't rush. Take things one step at a time, but start right now. Don't put it off. Just take a piece of paper, write down your ideas and get to work. You'll figure it out the details as you go. But the first step is the most important. Just commit and start making positive changes. Thank you all for being with me throughout 2021. And here is to many more successful years together. So, what I want from you in the comments down below, I want you to give me your idea, your long-term goal. I want to hear what is your long-term goal. What do you want to leave behind? Why are you alive? What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, or in a year time? So let me know your goals. I would love to hear from you. I love reading your comments, and really, this makes me so happy. So I want to say I'll see you in the next year.